Hi, it's Stephen at Goodie Goodie, and I'm making steamed toffee pudding with toffee sauce and creme anglaise, which just means English cream. And we start with dates soaked in boiling water to soften the flesh, and then putting them in a food processor to make a puree. And look at that, isn't that lovely? And now the pudding. And all the ingredients for this are in the description section at the bottom of the video. So butter should be room temperature, nice and soft. Adding brown sugar. Now the recipe I used for this actually called for really dark brown sugar, which I don't have. So you may or may not have it, but I just used regular brown sugar. And it tasted delicious, I might add. But I guess the darker the better, the richer the taste. Forming sort of a paste. Now kind of sneaking in the spices in one spoonful. So that's a combination of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and a little bit of salt. Giving that a little bit of a mix. And then adding an egg, which makes it a whole lot easier to make a nice smooth consistency. So it takes a little bit of stirring, but eventually you'll see how there it is. Nice and smooth. Adding some self-rising flour. Now, if you don't have self-rising flour, you can make it with regular all-purpose flour and a little baking powder and salt. I wasn't sure what that was. Do you know what that was? Adding some caramel sauce. It could be either, they recommend actually golden syrup or treacle, which again I didn't have. So I think anything sweet and really thick that can add a little bit to the flavor. And now there's your date puree. So you can see how important that is. It's a large part of the mixture here. And mixing it up. You don't really want to overmix this, just get it nicely combined. Now taking a bowl and greasing it with a piece of butter all the way up to the top, and adding a little circle of parchment paper so that your pudding doesn't stick to the bowl. And now here we go. There's that beautiful batter, and it smells great before it's even cooked at all. Just those spices, the dates, other thing, the brown sugar in there. It's an amazing smell. Okay, and then just smooth that out a little bit on the top. Take a piece of aluminum foil and we form a crease in the top. And that becomes the lid for your bowl. So just sort of press that on the top. Add some string, tie it with string. I said tie it with string. I couldn't do it. It's the second time that's happened to me. It just pops off. So I turned off the video camera and tied it with the camera off. Now taking a big pot and putting a towel in the bottom, filling it with some boiling water. And the towel is to stop your pudding from burning on the bottom. So the pudding bowl is in there, adding more boiling water, so it's about halfway up the bowl. Now we're making the English cream, starting with sugar and egg yolks. Giving that a nice stir. And there's some vanilla in there too. I don't remember seeing the vanilla go in. Oh no, it didn't. The vanilla goes in with the milk and cream, sorry. So here's we set that aside, and now we're adding milk, cream, and I'm guessing this is where the vanilla goes in. Yeah, there it is. I should know better. Now stirring that, not for a whole long time, it's on medium heat, and you want to keep stirring it until just before it starts bubbling. You don't want it to boil. And what I'm doing there, it's called tempering the eggs. So you take a little bit of that warm milk, put it into the egg mixture and stir it up. I'm going to add a couple of times, add a little bit of milk and stir it. So if we added all the milk at once, it would cook the eggs, and we don't want that. And we're going to put more milk in. Final shot. Stir it up. Very nice. And we'll add that mixture back into the pan with the milk in it. This is where all the work is. We have to stir this over medium heat, and you don't want it to be any hotter than that, but you have to keep stirring it. It honestly took me about 45 minutes to get to the consistency that I wanted, so it's kind of thick. Now we're making the toffee sauce. So starting with some brown sugar, adding room temperature butter, some cream. I have a bit of a story about that. I ran out of cream. So, and there's some caramel sauce, which could also be treacle or golden syrup. So I didn't have any cream, so I knew I could do this, but I looked it up on the internet, and supposedly you can make cream out of whole milk and butter. So 3 parts milk, 1 part butter. I tried doing it. It kind of worked. The end result wasn't too bad. And I'm heating that up on a medium heat also, but it bubbles. This you want to really boil. And it doesn't take 45 minutes. It's like less than half the time. But you keep stirring it. Now here we go. Our pudding is done. Our pudding was in that pan for an hour and a half. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. So after an hour and a half, you take it out, take the lid off. Looks okay. Now cover it with a plate, flip it over, and hopefully it just pops right out of the bowl. Pops right out of the bowl. Pops right out. There it goes. And still have to peel the parchment paper off. And once you do that, look at that. That's so nice. And it smells amazing. Now here's the money shot. Pouring the toffee sauce onto the pudding. And when I made a chocolate pudding earlier, I put way too much sauce on it and it just drowned it. I want to stop right here, and this is pretty much perfect. It just slowly runs down the edges. Look at that. It's like a work of art. Now cutting a piece, and you could put this on a plate. I put it in a bowl, and you have quite a bit of extra toffee sauce. So you want to keep that aside, and people will want the extra sauce on their pudding. So add some extra toffee sauce. Yum. So nice. And now adding the English cream. And there's our pudding. And what a perfect dessert. This is seriously delicious. It's incredible. And don't forget to watch our show, Baking for Change, on cable channels across Canada this fall.